Hi, I'm Shaw Kuester, Chairman of the Fort Mill Economic Council, and here today with Fort Mill Business Today. Here with me is Jennifer Belk, Director and Programming Coordinator for Loom Coworking of Fort Mill. How you doing, Jennifer?
Very good, thank you.
Good to see you today. Thank you for being with us. Just wanted to hear a little bit about, first of all, who you are and why you're here with us today.
Okay. Well, a little bit about my background. I am a corporate interior designer. Got my undergrad from Auburn University, my master's in art education from Virginia Commonwealth, and wife and mom, artist and dancer, and we are members of Fort Mill Church at Forest Hill. And my new hat, as you said, is the Director and Programming Coordinator at Loom Coworking, and that begins on June 1, so we're just eager to tell everybody about it.
That's great. And you said you were undergraduate at Auburn University?
Yes, sir.
And VCU, and then also understand you were at Winthrop for a while.
I did. I taught at Winthrop for about 10.5 years.
Nice.
And very involved with not only the program that I taught within, but also a lot with student programming, freshman orientation, student leadership.
So do we call you Professor Belk? Or?
Associate Professor, but you can call me Jen.
All right.
Okay.
All right. No, that's great. That's great. Thank you for that. I actually want to ask you, in terms of Loom, where did the name Loom come from, first of all?
Well, Loom is an homage to the textile background of our area. Wonderful thing about a loom is it takes a lot of kind of independent things and brings them together to make something that is very functional but also very beautiful, and which is what we are trying to do as part of Loom Coworking, is to bring a lot of different people with different talents, skill sets, to bring together for collaborative business opportunities, social networking opportunities, things like that.
That sounds great. What was your inspiration for Loom? How did this idea come about?
A very long and drawn out process, but as I said, my background is in corporate interiors. From honestly 20 years ago, was doing some innovative corporate environments for companies like Arthur Andersen, things like that. And so over the years, I've gotten to watch a lot of what has happened within corporate environments and corporate real estate,
of course,
and how people are using office environments. Certainly with technology and making people more mobile, and understanding that, especially as small businesses, it's very difficult to make that real estate investment that companies have to make, and that's why co-working has become such a huge part of corporate America, because people are mobile, but they fear the isolation. They don't thrive within environments
and
like
so many small
working out
businesses
of
too,
coffee shops and working out of their home and that kind of thing. So my husband and I own a commercial construction management company, and I also just finished working on a textbook, which was one of the most isolating experiences that you can have. And although it was a wonderful experience, it really hit home to me a lot of the issues that there are with trying to stay current, with trying to stay active within a professional community, and trying to have the connections that you need with other business people in your area to thrive and have those peer-to-peer mentorships that you need. So.
Gosh, no, thank you for that. That's good to hear. Why? The next question would be, what is co-working? Why has it become an increasingly prevalent work style in the past few years? This is something new that I'm just starting to learn about now from Charlotte. There's a few that are up there, and so we're a little bit behind Charlotte from that standpoint, but it's something new that is just coming about.
Well, and it's not necessarily us being behind Charlotte. It's definitely suburbia as opposed to metropolitan areas. There are 8,000 worldwide. They're slated to have about 12,000 come this time next year. There are about 6 very active ones in Uptown Charlotte that have their own kind of different tribe. Yes, some that are more arts-based, some that are more tech-based, some that have more private offices versus open collaborative, that kind of thing. But co-working is definitely something new within suburban arena. But as you know, people in Fort Mill, we love Fort Mill. We like to spend our money in Fort Mill, and we like to spend our time in Fort Mill rather than on the interstate.
Yes.
And so that's really why suburban co-working has really taken off as a concept but also as a reality that we want to spend those extra 2 hours of our day with our family and have that work-life balance, which is difficult to do when you're working out of your home.
Well, I mean, it's sad to say that it's taken that long to get to downtown Charlotte now with the traffic, but it's getting that bad.
It does, yeah.
So, and I mean, everybody sees it now down here. So, with so much going on down here too, that does make sense. So, no, thank you for that. Why Fort Mill? Why is downtown and the area looking or needing something like Loom co-working?
If you have ever walked into any particular coffee shops in, we'll say, the Baxter area, that will definitely tell you why. It doubled in size recently and still needs more room.
I've been there. It's bad.
There is a prevalence of home-based businesses, people that are mobile workers, and honestly, in co-working, it's entrepreneurs, freelancers, consultants, but also people that work for larger companies that just have the ability to work mobily, traveling salespeople, things like that. The predominance of that in people that work in Fort Mill.
Where do they go now then?
They go to coffee shops.
Okay.
There actually are some that go to Charlotte, to co-working communities there. If you've ever been to the public library, there's a whole lot of us that set up there. But the difference is that you don't know who you're sitting across from. You might have some spotty Wi-Fi. You don't have privacy to make private phone calls or to have meetings, have teleconferencing, things like that, and the uncertainty of if there's going to be a spot for you or not if you land there, that kind of thing.
Especially at Starbucks.
Especially,
right?
Yes. And York County actually has a higher rate of entrepreneurship than any other county in South Carolina.
Really?
And so really wanting to continue to foster that our economic growth is not just about bringing big companies and manufacturing in, which is wonderful, but we really need to support the small business people that are already here and to help them to find their niche and find their home and to really grow here rather than feeling like they need to take their business into Charlotte.
That's a good point.
So that's some of my biggest reasons. There's nothing of the sort in this area. Like I said, the closest co-working places, South End Charlotte is really the closest one. Other alternatives like the Regis type spaces, the Keyman spaces, definitely serve a purpose, but they don't have the rich amenities, the sense of community, the programming and things that are really the reason my title is programming coordinator. Is it's about the educational events, the networking events, all those things that you miss out on when you're not in a corporate environment, the lunch and learns, the staying up on your profession and social media and all of those things that as a small business owner you can get very dry.
It sounds like it sounds like a fun place to be at.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't sound like you're just going to work. It sounds like there's a lot of action going on there too.
Absolutely.
Which it sounds really exciting from that standpoint. What type of amenities are usually, which you're going to be also having, but what is usually an amenity in these co-working type spaces? You talked about a little bit of the lunch and learns and coffee, things like that.
You've
What
got
else do you
the
have?
physical space amenities, and then you have kind of the intangibles.
Okay.
And so it's kind of two-sided. As far as the physical space itself, mostly open collaborative environment, so more of a cafe lounge atmosphere.
Okay.
So we're very excited. We're partnering with Alfred Williams, which is the Herman Miller dealership in Charlotte.
It's great stuff.
And some unbelievable ergonomic, comfortable, stylish furniture that they're going to be supplying and working with us to keep fresh and rotate out throughout the year. So the physical space that will also have meeting rooms, phone booths to make private calls.
Phone booths.
Phone booth,
Yeah, I like that.
So that you can have a space where you can ensure privacy, as well as outdoor space. We're going to be in a temporary facility for a couple of months while our final permanent space is being finished.
And you can't say where that is
Can't say where that is quite yet.
All right.
However, at the permanent space will be a little bit more square footage, but most of the amenities are going to be the same in the two. So a very comfortable, open, very flexible environment. One of the things that makes Loom a little bit different from some of the other places in uptown Charlotte and really worldwide is that we have really listened to a lot of our potential members about what their needs are. We've done some surveys and questionnaires and things like that. And rather than it being a completely flexible environment, we are going to have some dedicated work desks. We had some people that said, no, I want a spot.
Okay.
I want somewhere to put my kid's picture up. I want somewhere that I know is my space, as well as some personal storage, that kind of thing. As well as we're going to have several flexible plans, whereas people who maybe they travel for half the month or they only see the need for somewhere, say 2 to 3 days a week to come in, they have that ability. We'll also have different types of memberships for people that maybe don't necessarily need a space, but just want to be part of the networking, want to be part
Sounds
of the
really
environment.
efficient.
So,
How many people will be there at one time?
who knows?
You just don't know?
It will be very flexible.
Yeah.
We have space for about 16 permanent desks. We have seating for about 50, but that may be people that are 2-day a week versus full-time flex memberships, that kind of thing. So it will rotate, but we'll also have special event space. That's one of the best amenities that I'm excited about. For years, the Fort Mill Economic Council, the Catawba Regional Development, all these people said downtown Fort Mill.
And I'm assuming this is going to be state of the art with all the bells and whistles and gadgets and networking and everything there.
Absolutely. We will have audiovisual equipment and things like that for the meeting rooms, but the large special event space, which in the temporary space is about 800 square feet, in the permanent space will be about 1,400.
Wow.
Will be a rotating art exhibits. It will be a very flexible space that can be rented out for everything from something I was working on last night, Latin dance classes, to art classes, to networking events, to really anything that the community needs it to be.
Sounds like it's going to get filled up pretty fast. That's what it sounds like to me. Jennifer, who are the potential members of Loom? How they benefit from being part of the community?
Okay. Certainly you have the typical people we've been talking about, the freelancers, consultants, entrepreneurs, but you also have the folks that work for Bank of America and Wells Fargo and things that have the ability to work in a mobile fashion. One of the biggest things is, yes, you have the tangible, the physical space to work out of, but the networking is a huge component. We'll have an online networking platform where everybody that is a member has access to that. So if you meet somebody while you're making coffee in the morning, you can check them out on LinkedIn, but you can also go and see their membership, what they put out there about themselves within the space. We've already had we have some informal meetups over the last couple of months, and we've already had a couple of guys get together for bike rides and movie nights and things like that with people that they've met.
I would think they would use one another to also help their businesses and what they're doing, correct?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things is we want to help people look bigger than they really are. So especially someone who is typically working out of their home, they need a place to have a meeting that they feel proud of, that they can have privacy to look more reputable than they really are. We'll offer mailing address services because there's some things you can't use a P.O. box for, and people don't want to use their home address. But we also want to make them feel bigger than they really are by being able to know that there's a network of people around them that, yes, I may do corporate interior design, but what if my client also needs someone to do real estate photography once that space is complete? Hey, I've got a guy for that.
I heard you did.
I got a guy for that. So, even though I may not, under the umbrella of my own personal company, within the umbrella of Loom, we're going to have graphic designers and writers and photographers. We have a ghost writer, which I thought was really interesting.
That's great.
Programming people, certainly a lot of kind of on the technical end, but on the sales end, medical folks, R&D people. I mean, it's a huge range of people.
Sounds very multidimensional.
Extremely.
I mean, just for any company around here that needs that service, to everybody under one roof would be incredible.
And to always have somebody around that you can ask about something.
Yes.
I know just enough about different things just to be dangerous. So, so having a room full of experts, to turn to and say, okay, what would you suggest for this, or what software do you use for that, or that kind of thing, and to be able to pass on, it really helps to keep overhead down with the company. Yeah, we're helping reduce the overhead of your real estate investment, but we're also keeping on overhead of the people that you have to keep employed within your own company. If you know that on a moment's notice, I've got a graphic designer over here, I have a copywriter over here, I have, and we really start to feed off of each other. The statistics show that by 2020, 40% of our economy is going to be made up of people who are consultants, who are freelancers, who are not full-time employed by an employer.
More small business.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
So that's great.
And people that are flexible enough to do that, but are also really rely on those symbiotic relationships with other companies. So that's who's going to benefit the most. Yes, you've got those tangible things within this space, but it's the networking, it's the family relationship. It's interesting with social media is wonderful, but once you get, I think I've got 1,500 contacts on LinkedIn or something like that. It's insane. Do I know all those people? No. I can reach out to some of them, yes, but I think people crave more that personal connection to say, all right, I really know this person. I feel good about sending a referral their way, or saying, yeah, I got a guy for that, and I know that person's going to show up and do it. Yeah, because we're under the same roof, and we share lunch together, and we know each other's kids, and that kind of thing. So it's, I think the bigger the world gets, and the more kind of networked everybody is in cyberspace, the more we want those more tangible, close-knit networking relationships. So,
no, that's great. That's good to hear. Well, one question I've got is what kind of demographic are you pulling? Is it Generation X, Generation Y? Is it millennials? Is it baby boomers?
It's so cool how all over the place it is.
Really?
Statistics show that the average age of a coworker is actually 39.
Wow.
Which you wouldn't think, because it does seem like a kind of a hip thing. But as far as being in the life stage of when you really need it, that's who it's attractive to. On the statistics for Fort Mill, the average Fort Mill worker is 38.5. So I think that's a pretty good correlation to that. The fastest rising demographic for co-working is actually over 50.
Oh, really?
So it's the folks that kids are out of the house, I'm finally going to start the career or the consulting job or whatever that I really am passionate about, that I want to do, and this is how they're facilitating doing it. So, which I think that's fantastic.
It would make sense. It really would.
Absolutely.
Being that I'm 41, so I guess I'm over the average, so that means I'm past.
No. It was really interesting at our first couple of meetups, the demographic, racially, the age demographics, everything was all over the board, and a lot of women, which I was very excited about. Internationally, co-working is a more male-oriented environment, simply because of entrepreneurs and small business owners and that kind of thing. But it's been very interesting at a lot of our meetups how many women we've had, which
that's
has
exciting
been
to
wonderful.
hear. That really is exciting to hear, the different demographics. That's surprising to hear, but that's great. Jennifer, thank you for joining us today. And next we're going to have Tom Redmond and Samantha Cochran with Walmart Neighborhood Market. Stay tuned.
Speaking out against cruelty is not an option for animals. Join the ASPCA and be their voice.
Welcome back to our show, Fort Mill Business Today. I have here with us Samantha Cochran and Tom Redmond with Walmart Neighborhood Market. Correct?
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, before we get started, would you actually mind telling us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you're from, how you got here to us?
Sure. I just relocated from the Spartanburg area. Just celebrated my 9-year anniversary with Walmart.
Nice.
Started at the young age of 19 as a part-time cashier in Bowling Springs, South Carolina, and was just promoted to this awesome new store in Fort Mill.
That's great.
Tom?
I went to school in Charleston Spent 4 years down there, and then I moved to this area to be a little closer to family. I spent about 2.5 years in Huntersville in a super center up there. I'm also in my 9th year with Walmart, and we relocated this way with my wife. I was married about 2 years ago, and we decided to build out this way.
That's great.
So
How, was it hard to leave Charleston?
Yes, yeah. It was not as hard to leave, but then when I left, I realized how much I missed it.
Yeah, and of course Spartanburg, I know, is growing leaps and bounds too.
It's huge.
Standpoint.
A lot. It reminds me a lot of this area. Rock Hill and Spartanburg have a lot in common. Fort Mill's growing, huge, good area to be.
No, it's great to have you guys here, and it's exciting to see the Walmart neighborhood market getting up and getting started. We have a Walmart. So Fort Mill has its own Walmart, which is really exciting. So I guess we're big leagues now,
Absolutely.
right? I guess that's what it means, because
Yeah.
right now, TKK, of course, has the super center there.
Yes.
But the Walmart market now is just being right down the street, and it's exciting to see that it's happening. If you wouldn't mind to tell us when has it opened, when is it opening, what's the scheduled delivery date?
Okay, so our grand opening is actually April 13th. We will have a friends and family VIP night on April the 11th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. where we will let the community come in and tour the store before it opens.
How do we get on that list, by the way? Is it
what?
VIP? Can you
see
slide me one?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. It's open to the community. We're going to send out some invitations to the community. We'll do some door hangers. The Chamber of Commerce will have our invitation on the
Great.
website. So a lot of different ways to get there, or just show up.
Yeah.
Some of our vendor partners will be providing meals. We're going to do some burgers and hot dogs and some free root beer and cheerwine
that's gonna be exciting. Yeah.
floats from some of
Yeah.
our vendor partners. We'll also be doing our community donations that night. Excited to be a part of the community. We'll be doing some donations to the police department, the fire department, of course, Nations Fort High School. Their awesome band will be there for our grand opening ceremony.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That will actually take place April the 13th.
Okay.
It starts at 7:30 in the morning. We'll have a lot of cool stuff going on that day. Some raffles and giveaways and different things like that.
That'd be great. Now, is the pharmacy opening the same time? Because I know that's
Yes.
your department there. So it's all open at one time, and
Yep.
it's April 13th. You can go in and you can get it all.
We
that
cut the
time.
ribbon that morning and it's open for business.
That's fantastic. I know just from the standpoint earlier today, my son ended up poking himself in the eye with scissors, and we had a real issue of running around to different pharmacies all over the place. So
Oh my
it's
goodness.
good to have another pharmacy in town to where I can go and get what I need to get and take care of business. Or I should say my wife take care of business.
Absolutely.
So that's
Yeah.
great to hear. So I'm looking forward to you guys opening up.
Yeah,
just
we'll
from my
have
own
a
personal
drive-through.
experiences.
We'll have a drive-through too, where a lot of the super centers
great.
don't have drive-throughs, so
Yeah.
that's going to really make it convenient for people just wanting to pick things up quick on the way home from
Yeah,
work.
that'll be fantastic. Tell me about, we all know about Walmart. Everyone has learned about it and understood it from perspective, but the neighborhood concept. Tell us a little bit about what that is, because it's only just started the past couple years, and of course now we have our own
Right.
here at Fort Mill. I know there's others popping up in Rock Hill and other places, but what is the difference between the super centers and the neighborhood centers?
Okay, so I can give you kind of a rundown of the grocery piece of it, and I'll let Tom speak on the pharmacy. But the great thing about the Walmart neighborhood markets is it's more of a community store. It's a better opportunity for us to get involved with the local community. It's more convenient locations. The ease of service inside of these places are a lot easier than the super centers, but we provide the super center prices. So we offer the fresh experience, the pharmacy experience, obviously, that Tom can tell you a little more about, but we have the same prices as the super centers. So it makes it a lot more convenient, and we're trying to put them in neighborhoods that really need the service, but don't want to go struggle to fight the crowds at the super centers.
That's great to hear. And on the pharmacy side?
The pharmacy side, the convenience is a big factor. You know, in the super center, you have to go into a large building.
Yeah.
Most of them don't have a drive-through. That's one of the key features of a lot of the
That's a good
neighborhood
point.
markets.
I
Is the
didn't think about
drive-through. That really offers people that ease. You know, you have a sick child, they can come in. They don't have to go into the building and drag that child in with them who's crying or not feeling well. They can pick it up easily. The other nice thing is the pharmacies are a smaller size, and we actually have a clinical services room now where we
wow.
can sit down one-on-one in a private room and discuss medications. We do medication therapy management and even giving an immunization. You have more privacy, and it's more of a clinical feel, like you're sitting in an office,
I'm sure.
not just over a counter, you know, with people shopping around you. So it's
That's
really
great to hear. And I'm sure, I mean, as everything is so much disease and everything out there, I know that especially with you, a lot of people would rather have that private conversation and use
Exactly.
that. So that's it's nice to have that other option here in Fort Mill for us with everything growing so much. So that's exciting to hear from that standpoint. What can some of the customers expect on the upcoming center opening? What is it that we're going to see from that?
Well, excellent customer service is the first thing you can expect, because that's what this neighborhood market's going to be known for. But the really cool thing is we have at least 6 weeks of retailtainment, is what we call it, for the weekends coming after the grand opening.
Retailtainment?
Retailtainment, that is a Walmart phrase. So basically, the Saturday after our grand opening, we'll have the football player who's in the 2016 draft this year, Mackenzie Alexander, will be there signing autographs.
Oh, wow.
We'll have some other things. Tom will be out introducing himself to customers, giving away some different free things. He can probably tell you a little bit more about that, but that's the first Saturday. What else are you going to be doing out there in the tent?
In the tent, we'll have our $4 list, which is the same that you would find in the super center. Like she was talking about, the prices will be the same. $4 lists. Any people that were wanting to transfer medications, we have forms they can fill out where they just turn that into us, and we'll handle the rest of it, so they don't have to worry about going back and forth. We have a lot of water bottles with a bunch of goodies, stuff with goodies,
pill boxes,
and pill boxes,
and things like that.
medication droppers and things that are just to give away.
That's great. That's good.
So that's weekend one. Weekend two, we've partnered up with the local fire department, police department, and another agency that is set to join for safety car seat checks, and we'll be doing some sampling of our own merchandise. Something we offer that the super centers do not is a gourmet pizza bar, where you can come in. We have some prepared, or you can have us prepare it there for you. They're excellent. I had the honor of trying them out in Bentonville, in Arkansas, and they're awesome pizzas.
That's the headquarters of Walmart, correct?
Yes, yes it is. The weekend after that, some of our vendors, Lance, Frito-Lay, they're going to do a cornhole tournament, and they're giving away some awesome prizes. So a lot of events happening on the weekends. Yeah, it's going to be a good. It's going to be a good time to be there on Saturdays
Great time
for the
to
next
open,
few
too,
months.
for the spring.
Absolutely,
Oh my
perfect
gosh.
weather. It's going to be great.
So that was week 2, right?
No, that was week 3. Car seats are week 2.
That's something that you don't hear anymore.
Absolutely.
So that's great to hear that. So then, do you know week 4, 5, and 6?
Weeks 4, 5, and 6 are tentative.
Okay.
we were working on those. We do have some. We have some really cool things planned out. Grand opening day is going to be the most exciting. Some of it's going to be surprises. We're going to be raffling some really cool things. I know VIP night. Homer, the Knights mascot, Charlotte Knights, will be there. Grand opening day, Toucan Sam and Chester Cheetah will be there.
Okay.
So a lot of cool things going on for our grand opening.
Oh gosh, my kids love Chester Cheetah. I'll tell them about that.
Absolutely. Come out and get a picture with that. I'm excited about Toucan Sam.
Yeah, right. That's great. That's fantastic. In terms of your hiring, I know it's the Walmarts are always known for hiring and a great employment base. What percentage of the hiring is local?
100%.
Wow, great.
100%. We've hired a lot from the Rock Hill, Fort Mill area. It's about one and the same, you know, as far as where the associates are coming from. We have gotten a lot since we've actually taken over the building. We've had a lot of applicants that are just right from the local neighborhood. So that's awesome
fantastic.
for us. So that's where
great.
most of them are coming from.
Walking distance and right here locally.
Absolutely.
That everybody loves to hear that. That's fantastic to hear that. So that's great. In terms of the development itself, where exactly is it located? It's in Fort Mill, but can you tell us where it is now and kind of what's around it from that
Absolutely.
standpoint?
The actual address is 500 North Doby's Bridge Road.
Okay.
The best way I can explain it is everyone from this area has told me it's Fort Mill Square. And if you put Fort Mill Square in a GPS, it takes you right there. So we're located right by the bank and the Family Dollar right on Tom Hall. So we're right behind that Family Dollar store.
I've seen it as it's been developing, and just with that side of town and with the redevelopment that needed to happen, and everybody seeing it happen over the period of months, it's exciting to see what's going on there, and the fact of it being on Doby's Bridge and Tom Hall Street, Highway 160. Great corner. There's so much action down there, so many homes.
Right.
I would think a lot of the neighborhoods are going to be very excited to have you so close to down there, within walking distance, within a short drive. So I would think that you guys will stay very busy for for the first couple of weeks
Well,
at
we hope
least.
so.
And
We look forward to it. We're excited about the location, the brand new store. We're excited as we watch it come up too. And now it's unbelievable that it opens in a week and a half.
Yeah.
You know, a little over a week and a half. We're excited about it too.
How big is the store exactly?
A little over 40,000 square feet. I don't know
Okay.
the exact, but a little over 40,000 square feet. Full offering of grocery, fresh produce, meat, fresh deli bakery, pharmacy, of course, with the pharmacy drive-through, and then of course we have the consumables area where we offer the over-the-counter pharmacy items, your health and beauty aids items, paper goods, things like that. And the awesome thing is you get those at the Supercenter price. That won me over to neighborhood markets, honestly, because my background is Walmart Supercenter. The first neighborhood market that came to the area I was from, I went in and I was like, I have to be a part of this. These are awesome stores.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then that's where you, and the pizza bar and everything there, so you can really get everything from A to Z.
Absolutely.
Pretty much. Wow. Well, it all sounds very exciting from that standpoint. So can you tell us a little bit about anything that's with the development? I know there's supposed to be some other retail around it. Do you know, or have you heard of anything else that is happening with those stores this time?
I do know that there's a small strip mall that's being built in the front. I don't have anything confirmed, just by kind of being a good neighbor and talking to some of the other developers and things. I've heard rumors of some restaurants maybe coming there, nail salon possibly, but we don't have anything confirmed on that yet either. We'll be good business partners, but it's not anything directly related to Walmart.
Tom, would you tell us a little bit more on the pharmacy side, on the immunization process? It's a hard word to say, on the immunization process for the pharmacy, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, absolutely. In South Carolina, I am actually a provider, and I can give you an immunization under my own authority. So they call that prescriptive authority. So you can come into the pharmacy wanting a flu shot. I can say, okay, ask you a few questions, fill out some paperwork, and we can go ahead and give it right there. We process your insurance. Most insurance plans actually cover it at zero copay, which is nice. It's considered a preventative care. But we can also offer a wide range of immunizations, anything from a flu shot to a shingles shot to a tetanus shot.
I'm sure you're seeing more of that out here in the market now and in the world, so that's good to have that. And what else was there on that?
The other thing we are able to do is it's called MTM, or medication therapy management. So managing chronic disease states is very important to keep people out of the hospital and following their routine with their maintenance medications to keep them healthy. So we can go through your chart and review all the medications, look for interactions, look for duplications in therapy and that sort of thing. And like I was talking about earlier, that room that we have is a nice place where we can sit down and discuss it and have a private session and do that. So those are two of the big new things that we're able to do in the pharmacy and offer our customers.
So are you assuming that with all the kids that you're going to have a long line out that door once you open up? Is that what we're thinking?
I hope so. Well, hopefully they're not sick, but yes, it'd be nice to come to see me. So with the immunizations, we can actually come to your site and deliver the immunizations to you or your workplace. It is a convenience factor. So you don't necessarily have to come to the pharmacy. We can set something up where we're able to come to you. We have licensed pharmacists who are all certified.
House visits, so to speak.
Basically, yeah. We can come right to your office building, your place of work, a town office or whatever.
That is very convenient.
And provide it for your group of employees.
Gosh, that sounds great.
It's really a great service.
Samantha, Tom, thank you for being with us today. We appreciate you being here and look forward to your opening. This is Shaw Kuester with Fort Mill Business Today. We thank you for being here.